Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Wisted. Today is part 2 to a 2-part video. The first part was my unpopular opinions on home decor, which it seems like you guys really liked, which I'm really happy about. So this video is part 2, which I'm sharing some unpopular home decor opinions that you guys submitted to me in Instagram. So I'm kind of excited about it because they are pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Controversial. Some of them can be controversial. Some of them I completely agree with. So what I have noticed is I think that I have finally found my community. Like you guys who have been responding and engaging with my content recently, I feel like thinks very similar to me, and that makes me so happy because that was the whole reason why I started sharing my sharing my life on YouTube and Instagram to begin with, is to find you guys. And it's just makes me so happy because I feel like we all think very similarly. So a lot of these I completely agree with, but I would like to know, those of you on YouTube, if you agree with them, because a lot of these did come from Instagram. I'm actually pulling them up. I saw them as they were coming in, but this is the first time I'm like really going through them. So I'm gonna pull them up quickly and we'll go through each one. I kind of want to get started with one that's a little bit controversial just because, I don't know, I didn't want to be the one to say it, but a lot of you had submitted this one. The first unpopular opinion that I'm sharing from you guys is that you are sick of farmhouse decor. I feel like this one's controversial because I do feel like modern farmhouse is still very popular, and I know so many people incorporating it into their house today. So this was the main one that I kept reading through, and I was like, man, I think I found my audience because I don't really, I guess, consider myself farmhouse decor. So I'm thinking maybe I'm not attracting the audience that likes farmhouse decor. So this is where I'm like, that's making a little bit more sense to me. But I totally agree. I'm completely over the farmhouse decor, just like vibe. I feel like it's been very overdone, especially here in the United States, more specifically in the South. I just feel like there's so much more like interesting ways to decorate your home, I guess. But you know, to each his own. I'm sure people don't love minimal style like I do, like all the blank walls and all the white and light, neutral, and all of that. Like, I know that that's not for everyone, so I could totally see why my audience may also not like the farmhouse decor. Also, if you hear a little buzzing in the background, that my husband is in the process of refinishing an unfinished space in our house. And if you've watched my other videos, I don't really tell him to stop working when I'm filming because this is casual for me. I don't want to make it an inconvenience for him, so I hope you guys don't mind. This next unpopular opinion, I feel like I got a lot of submissions as well, and it's that you guys hate gold hardware or gold accents in general. Now, this one's also a little bit interesting because I also do not like gold, but I didn't want to say that because I know that that's a very specific style, and I know that my style is also very specific, so I understand that just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's like principle or anything like that. But I do agree with you guys that I feel like gold is a very harsh metal, and I feel like when you have like a true gold, I'm not talking about like the antique bronze or like the rustic kind of gold, I feel like that can be cool in like different uses and just, you know, use sparingly. But I think like the gold hardware, like if you think about kitchens with like the gold pulls and doorknobs, if you think about rooms decorated with a lot of gold, I feel like it just, like gold in general, like really overtakes the space. First of all, it comes off as a little more of like a glam kind of vibe, so if that's your vibe, then that's, you know, gold would fit in there very well. Usually I try to avoid any metals at all. Right now I do like chrome. Obviously, I don't know if you can see this table right here is chrome, so, and I love this table. But in general, I do try to avoid metals when I'm decorating because it is really specific, and I feel like people's minds change on metal like very quickly. You either love it or hate it, so it's just really hard to, I don't know, decorate with, I guess. The next unpopular opinion that you guys submitted are that you do not love fake plants. Now, this one is interesting because I do agree. I don't love fake plants, especially the ones that are obviously fake, like the ones that maybe you pick up at Home Goods, that have like the silk. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the texture is just like an obvious fake. So like I totally get that because you walk into a house and it just automatically feels like you've tried to put a plant there, but it's not a plant. So it's like trying to be something that it's not. So I totally get where you guys are coming from with that. I do have 2 fake plants in my house, and I've mentioned this in a few of my other videos. I don't love them. They're the olive trees from Target from the Studio Mickey collection. They were the best quality faux plant that I could find without spending like $500 on a faux tree. But I did like these ones because I felt like I was able to put them in areas of my home without having to worry about them dying and without having bugs come into the house, because sometimes you can get bugs within the soil. You guys know what I mean? But I agree. I think about all the time getting rid of them. I just don't know what else I put in the corner. So what do you guys think? Do you like faux plants? What would you do instead of a faux plant? Would you leave that corner empty, or how do you create height in a corner if you don't have a faux plant? Let me know. So this one kind of goes along with the farmhouse theme, but a lot of you guys said that you can't stand shiplap. And again, I could see it. Shiplap, it's not really adding too much. It is definitely a farmhouse feel when you do add it. I don't really have much else to say about it. Taylor and I did put it in our first house that we renovated, which is so funny because I feel like I was still learning my style then, and I was still doing the farmhouse vibe because that's just literally what everyone did. So I thought that's just what I should do. So I've learned a lot from redoing our first house to now living in this home. So interesting how your style can change, isn't it? The next unpopular opinion that you guys submitted was that you are no longer in love with bar carts. And I say no longer in love because bar carts really used to be such a big thing a few years ago. I don't know if you guys remember. It was like the trendy Pinterest pictures, like your bar cart, which was stocked with all, you know, your wine glasses, some sort of greenery, maybe a thing of limes on the side. It was like, oh, and those, what's it called? Paper straws that were like designed with the different like polka dots or stripes or whatever. That was like the thing to do, was to have that bar cart with all of your display out on it. And I think today a lot of people move away from that, or I haven't seen a lot of people really posting how they've styled their bar cart. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm following more specific people to my style. But I think I agree with you guys. I think bar carts are done and over with, so I'm sorry if you have one. Maybe find a different use for it or put it behind a closed door. You can still store your stuff on it. But yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of bar carts as well. This next unpopular opinion is that a lot of you guys do not like family photos displayed around the house. Now, this one, I have a full theory on this, because like back in the day, when I say back in the day, like traditionally, everyone wanted to have their family photos printed out on the walls, a bunch of like picture frames all around. So I think back then, when there was no social media, no internet, like you wanted to be able to see those memories and be able to remind yourself of those like special times. But I think nowadays with social media, you can post all your photos in one place, whether it be on Instagram or even just like in the cloud. You have all your photos together in one place. You can even share those albums with your friends and family. So there's not really a need to print them anymore. And I think that people are starting to realize that they don't really add much to the decor value of your home. What do you guys think? Do you like family photos around, or do you prefer to keep them on social media or online? Let me know what you think. This next unpopular opinion is that you guys do not like anything with quotes or signage or phrases or words of any kind as decor. This one I think is pretty much universal at this point. I think everyone's over the live, love, laugh signage, the like pantry, like the signs that say pantry over the pantry or laundry in the laundry room. Like, you just don't need it, right? So I feel like we're all kind of in agreement with that it's been very overdone. It's been in every single like home goods, like kitschy store that you can find. But I think it's just outdated now. So if you have a live, laugh, love, I'm sorry, let's take it down. So now we're getting into some interesting ones that I would like to hear your opinions on, just because they're kind of fun. The first one that somebody submitted is, their unpopular opinion is, it's okay to have some nice furniture when you have children. You guys know how I feel about this. I could not agree more. It's just so crazy to me that people decorate their houses based on their kids and the stage of life that their kids are in. I totally understand like certain things. Like we did buy a coffee table that was a little bit less expensive because we wanted her to be able to draw on it. So we wouldn't buy, like invest in it. Like I get that. But I wouldn't decorate your entire room because you have kids, or just like limit like your style because you have kids. I just never really understood that and why people did that. And now that I have a kid, I still don't get it. Granted, she is just now in toddler phase. She's not like a full-blown maniac yet. And I use maniac in such a loving way. But I get it, but if you don't want to deal with having to teach your kids how to be respectful of your furniture, totally get it. Just don't buy nice furniture. But I think having nice items in my home is important to me, and it's important to some of you guys as well, as I understand it. So I don't know, I just couldn't agree with this more. You can have the nice things, you just have to understand that you have to teach your kids to respect your nice things. And I think that's something that they should learn anyway, especially if they're gonna go into somebody else's home. Like, you want them to respect their stuff. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. What do you guys think? Do you think it's fine to have nice furniture when you have children, or do you think that you should just buy random stuff because it's gonna get ruined anyway? Let me know what you think in the comments below. The next unpopular opinion that you guys submitted is that you're over the overdone open floor plan. Now, I'm referring to the floor plan that's literally you walk into the house and the entire room is open. It became really popular, I think, a few years ago. I'm not, an expert in this stuff, but it became very, very popular in all HGTV shows. You could see them knocking down every single wall, getting it completely out of the room, and just opening up everything so you can see the kitchen, the living room, the dining room, the office, whatever it is, all is in one room. And I think for a while there, it was like the trendy thing to do, and everyone wanted to have this like moment of I can breathe because there's no walls like dividing each room. And then what I have found, or what I've kind of heard and like seen, is that a lot of people during COVID started to realize that they didn't love the open concept because you are at home 24/7 with your family and there's literally nowhere to go. So you are in one room and all of you are in that one room at the same time. There's no breakup, there's no privacy, there's nothing. You're just all in one room together. So your big house at that point now kind of feels like a small house because it's one room. I think that is kind of what made people start to lean towards back having a semi-open concept. I totally don't think you need to have walls between every single room, because then that definitely feels closed off and like choppy almost. But I think the semi-open concept might be here to stay. It's a little bit more timeless versus the fully open concept, which feels a little bit cold and a little bit less inviting, and just harder to do your day-to-day stuff, especially if you have to stay home with a full family. What do you think? Do you agree? All right, I'm gonna try and get through a few more. I'm not gonna get to all of them. I tried to lump a few of them together and then just kind of share some of the more interesting ones. So sorry if I didn't get to yours. Feel free to add more in the comments below. So the next one, which I thought was kind of interesting because it made me just think a little bit, but somebody submitted that their unpopular opinion is too many legs together like chair, table, and credenza. Ew. I could agree with this. I think this is something that I actually did in this current house. So my previous house, I had a kitchen table that had like it was actually pretty farmhouse. I think I had farmhouse aesthetic back then. But it was this like circle table, and it had all these it was like the table, the wood, and the wood legs, and then we had all the chairs around it. And I remember thinking back then, like, that looks so good, super farmhouse, love it. And then now, when I was ordering a table for this current house, I was like, I can't have a table that has legs like that, because then you have all the table's legs and then you have all the legs of the chairs, and it's just like a lot of lines that you're looking at. And especially if it's like different angles and like different sizes, I just feel like it's a lot. So I can totally see where you're coming from on that. What do you think? Do you think too many legs, too many lines, is it distracting, or do you think it adds interest to a space? This next one, sorry, I'm trying to screenshot this so I can save these and post them onto, who's that? Sorry, there's some weird truck like pulling up into our, I'm like so paranoid, but that we've been selling a bunch of furniture. So people have been like stopping by and picking up furniture. So that was just somebody picking up the furniture, but I was like, this person is walking around our house, what's happening? This next one is interesting to me, so I'd love to know your thoughts. Buying what everyone else is buying. Now, how do I start with this one and how I feel about it? I agree. There's something to be said about having a little bit uniqueness in your home, and this is something that I always bring into all the videos that I post about like home decor tips that I've just like found over the years. Anytime you can make your home feel just a little bit unique, and I'm not even asking for like all unique furniture, I'm just saying like add in like one or two things that are different than that you see in everyone else's like decor. It immediately makes you stand out, makes your home feel more expensive, and just feel a little bit nicer than having the exact same setup that everyone else has out there. I've talked about this before, you guys. If you have too many of the like it items in one space, your space starts to feel less exciting because it's almost like you're trying a little too hard to have a cool space by having too many of the cool items in one space, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it more than that, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about when there's just like, it just starts to look a little bit overdone when it's like you have the trendy rug that everyone has, you have the trendy coffee table that everybody has, you have the same couch that everybody has, you have the same lamp that everybody has, and not only do you have that, you have it all in one space. What do you guys think? Buying the same things that everybody is buying, do you think that that looks good, or is that an unpopular opinion and you totally disagree? This next one may be the first one that I don't agree with, so let me know your thoughts. This person submitted that their unpopular opinion is they do not like Italian marble tables. They're very 1980s to me. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like the Italian marble tables or do you not like the Italian marble tables? I will say for me that I do like them. I think you do have to be a little bit picky on what else you pair with them. So it's kind of going back to the one that I just talked about before and not buying everything that's super trendy, because Italian marble tables do tend to feel a little trendy because like a lot of people are buying them and sharing them right now. But I also think that they're pretty classic and they're pretty, like, they can be vintage, like the vintage ones can be really cool. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have one, but I think they look cool in the right space as long as you don't overdo it. So I don't know, that might be the only one that I disagree with. Okay, so I have a few comments on TVs in the house, but the one that I wanted to share with the most, I gotta find it really quick because I actually laughed a little bit when I saw it. So this unpopular opinion is this person does not like Samsung frame TVs. You guys, I agree. As much as I hate TVs, and I can't stand when my husband wants to put a TV in every room. We literally have a TV in almost every room, and we're in the process of getting our backyard renovation started. We have a lot of planning happening, but he always brings up putting a TV outside. Like, ugh, we don't need to be watching TV 24/7. Like, let's have a space that we can enjoy without the TV on, you know. But he's a huge sports fan, so I get it. Like, sports is always on as much as I hate it. So I get it. Like, those of you who like sports, I'm sure TV is more important to you. However, buying the Samsung TV or the TV that has the picture frame around it, or one that you're trying to make your TV not look like a TV, like I think I saw in somebody's, like, it was like a New York City, I think it was like $1 Million Listing or something, New York. Anyway, it was this like very, very expensive penthouse in New York City. They had these like mirror TVs, so when the TVs were turned off, they looked like mirrors. And I don't know, you guys, like if you walk into a room, you know that that's a TV. Like, there's no hiding it. So I think this is the same thing. Like when you go back to like us talking about the fake plants, it's like trying to be something that it's not. The frame TV, I think it's just trying to be something that it's not. Like, you've put a frame, like a picture frame around your TV. I don't know. I just can't get on board with that. It just seems like you're trying too hard to like disguise what it is. This next one was kind of interesting because I want to hear your thoughts on it. I don't really have a thought either way, but somebody submitted that she said, I agreed with everything that you said. Apparently she had watched the first video, and she said that she's adding that she does not like the antique Anthropology mirror. You guys know what I'm talking about, the Anthropology mirror that has like all of the ornate details. It's like gold. It's almost like a dark kind of like rustic gold color. I feel like everyone had that mirror. Literally everyone, or was trying to get that mirror or replicate that mirror, and it's like been everywhere. I think it's one of those same things, like trends come and go in fashion. Same thing with home decor, trends come and go. Once it's been overdone, it is done. Like, you don't need to continue to see it and beat a dead horse, if that makes sense. And I do think that the Anthropology mirror might fall a little bit in that. To be fair, I don't really care. They don't bother me that much. I wouldn't buy one, but like if I walked into somebody's house that had one, I'm just like, yeah, that was cool a few years ago, so I see why you bought it. You know, like, I don't really care. But what do you guys think? Do you like the Anthropology mirror? Do you not like the Anthropology mirror? Okay, so this one's a little bit interesting as well. Somebody submitted that you don't need a pop of color for interest. Was it just me, or did we somehow learn throughout just growing up that in order to design a room or design an event or design whatever it is, you had to have some sort of color scheme to go along with it. And that color scheme usually had some sort of pop of color. The only reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like it's been ingrained in me over the years that you have to have a pop of color for your space to be complete. And maybe that's what this person is saying as well. It's just something that people have said over the years, so you somehow just like gravitate towards that. But I agree. I don't think you need a pop of color. I mean, I understand liking color and wanting to incorporate that color into your color scheme, but you don't necessarily have to have that pop of color. You can have different like tones within your color scheme that all kind of correlate to each other without having some sort of like dramatic, like this is the color kind of thing. Do you guys agree? This next unpopular opinion, this person does not like shelves. Hate styling them and the look and lots of clutter. I couldn't agree more. I've actually said this a few times in previous videos, but open shelving definitely, in my opinion, just invites stuff into your home that you don't need. Like we have shelves downstairs, family room, I guess, if you will, the informal one. And I felt the need to go to Home Goods of all places. I feel like the Home Goods is the anti-minimalist, like truly. Like I said, I didn't used to be a minimalist. I used to shop at Home Goods all the time. I have videos on Home Goods hauls. Like it's just what I used to do. But now I don't go to Home Goods unless I'm looking for like specific like cooking tools, or I get candles there sometimes. And sometimes when I'm doing like tablescapes, like table decor, I'll go to Home Goods. But for like everyday decor, I definitely try not to go there because it's like overwhelming and there's so many knickknacks and just it's too much. But like what I'm saying is open shelving like invites the Home Goods find feeling where you have to go and just like buy all this random junk that you just like don't need. If you do have shelves in your home, a few ways that you could make them a little bit more interesting is if you travel, maybe you can purchase some like unique items when you're traveling and you're able to display it there. That's not my favorite thing to do because it does get a little like knick-knacky, if that makes sense, but I also think it feels a little bit more personal and unique than just throwing up the Target stuff that you buy. If you're a minimalist, you can put like the bare minimum. You don't have to have every inch of that shelf filled or styled. You can leave the full shelf open if you want. I'm trying to think. I've seen a few shelves that have like high repetition of like the same type of item. Like there's this one that I've actually been wanting to recreate, but I just feel like it might be a little bit expensive, but it's more of like an art installation. They had these vases, like these like pottery, just like small little vases, and each and every one of them was unique. It looked like real antique pottery. I don't know if it was or where they got these. It probably was because it looked to be like a high-end home, but they were all unique and they were just like put in different rows, and I just thought that the repetition of the same object that's like slightly different was really cool. So it's just kind of like I said, it's kind of like an art installation in your home, but it's not just like junk, if that makes sense. I don't know, it just like looked cool to me, so I think that's just my explanation for that. The next thing that I did put open shelving in is my daughter's nursery. I have kept hearing this concept of like open shelving for kids helps invite play, and especially if you move items around often, they see the items kind of like in a different light and they want to play with that item versus it being in the same spot, or you know what I mean? Like if you like, it's called like toy, what's it called? Toy rotation, and you kind of bring out some of their old toys, put those toys in storage for like a week or so, and then you do it again. You just continue rotating toys, so it makes them feel like they have a bunch of toys when they really don't have as many, which is great. You don't have to constantly be buying them toys, you're just rotating the ones that you have in there, and they play with them as if they're new. So in my daughter's nursery, I am doing an open shelf concept, and my hopes is that I'm able to kind of rearrange it every now and then so that it makes sense for her stage of life, but it also adds a little bit of height into the room because I needed something that was tall and I felt like a bookshelf made the most sense. And it is the open shelf inviting kind of toy rotation and just inviting them to play with what's on the shelf, I think is really cool. So open shelving I'm not a fan of unless it's for a very specific reason, or you can make your current open shelving kind of like a art installation, and I don't know, I feel like that could be kind of cool too. Okay, I'm gonna get to maybe two more. This guy submitted that his unpopular opinion is that he does not like shutters unless you're in a hurricane area, but he really hates non-functioning shutters. I find this interesting because I've never actually shared this on social media before, but I also do not like shutters on houses. I agree there's some that could look cool, especially if you're near like the Hamptons or somewhere where, you know, hurricanes, and you can have the hurricane shutters that kind of go like this against your house. I think those look really cool. I agree, like if they're not needed, why do we have them on the house? Like, you know what I mean? Like if they're just non-functioning and there's not really a point to them, why are they there? It's just this added distraction that like maybe you don't need. I don't know, but I think to me it does look visually better if there are no shutters. That's just like an interesting one to me. What do you guys think? Because I feel like shutters on houses are like standard and literally everyone has them, except for us because we took them off. But what do you think? Do you guys like shutters on houses? Okay, I'm trying to find one more that's like somewhat interesting. This person submitted that they prefer blinds over window treatments. What do you guys think about that? I haven't really thought too much about it, so let me think about this for a second. I guess I would have to ask more questions, like what do you mean by blinds? Do you mean like the lines that go like this all the way down that you pull down? Or do you mean like roller shades? And you don't like window treatments, like you don't like curtains, you don't like Roman shades, you don't like anything like that. Like I just would have so many questions for that person because I feel like that statement is pretty general. I don't know, but I'll give you my opinion really quickly because you're here. I do like window treatments. I don't like it to be overdone, as in I like for the treatment to kind of blend into the wall. As you can see that my curtains kind of match the wall. I personally like the texture and like the fullness that it adds to a space, but I don't necessarily want the window treatments to be a focal point, so that's why I make them kind of blend in together. But I do think they add a lot to the room. Like in my office, which is what we're in right now, I used to not have window treatments. I do have blinds. They were random blinds that we bought just like at like Home Depot because we needed some when we had guests staying over. They weren't ones that we like on purpose went out to get. It was like more of a necessity, but we just had these blinds and they just, I don't know, they just look a little old school. So I added these window treatments, these curtains, and I feel like they've completely softened up the room. And I feel like especially with minimalist decor, the best way to make your home feel more comforting without having to add colors and just like stuff into your room is to add a lot of texture. And I feel like you can do that very easily with window treatments like curtains, or even like blankets. If you throw a tone-on-tone blanket onto your couch or onto your bed and just like layer it up, it just makes your home feel more cozy. Or even with rugs, like adding like a really cozy like fluffy rug to a space that's very minimal and neutral, I think can really make your space feel welcoming without having to add just stuff in your house. So yeah, just getting back to the window treatments, I think I might disagree with you, but I also don't really know what you mean by it. So what do you guys think? Do you prefer blinds or window treatments? All right, that's gonna be it because my little girl is about to wake up in like 30 minutes and I wanna just relax for a minute. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I am reinvigorated with filming videos for you guys. I have some projects that I have coming up that I'm like really excited about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna end it here. Like I said, like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let me know in the comments below what of these unpopular opinions you agree with, if there's any you disagree with, if there's anything that I didn't share today that you wanted to include, definitely include those in the comments below, and I will see you guys on my next video.